I found a dark family secret. It all started about a month ago when I was helping my parents clean out the attic. My mom had insisted on doing a deep clean before the holidays, and since I'm the oldest, I was the one who had to help. It wasn't the most exciting task, but amidst the dusty boxes filled with old photos and Christmas decorations, I found a box that didn't seem to belong to any known memory. It was hidden behind a stack of old suitcases, almost as if someone didn't want it to be found. Curious, I opened it, expecting to find embarrassing childhood photos or something along those lines. What I found, however, was much more shocking. Inside the box was a series of legal documents. At first, I didn't understand much, but the more I read, the more my heart raced. They were adoption papers, with names I didn't recognize, dates that matched the year I was born, and the most disturbing thing, my own name appeared at the end of one of the documents. I froze. I couldn't process it. Adoption? Me? This couldn't be true. At that moment, I heard my parents calling me from downstairs, and I quickly put the papers back in the box and closed it, trying to act normal. But nothing was normal anymore. The drive home that night was a mixture of confusion and anxiety. I had no idea how, when, or why I had been adopted. And the worst part, why had my parents never told me? That was the beginning. The revelation left me with more questions than answers, and I knew I had to find out more. But what I didn't realize was just how much this secret was going to change everything. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about what I had found. I tried to act normal around my parents, but every time I looked at them, I felt a deep sense of betrayal. How could they hide something so important from me my whole life? They raised me, gave me love, taught me values, but everything now felt tainted by this big lie. Who was I really? One day, I couldn't take it anymore and decided to confront the situation. I couldn't keep pretending that everything was fine. I planned to ask my mom first since she had always been more open with me. I waited until my dad went out to run some errands, then sat with her in the kitchen, feeling my hands sweating with nerves. I showed her the documents. Her face changed immediately, from curiosity to a mix of panic and sadness. She sat in silence, staring at the papers as if they suddenly weighed a ton. When she finally spoke, her voice trembled. "We wanted to tell you, we were going to do it when you were older, but we never found the right time. We didn't want you to think you weren't our child, because to us, you always have been." Her explanation didn't calm me at all. At that moment, all the security I once had in my family crumbled. I felt like everything they had taught me had been a lie. My mom told me I was born in another city and that my biological parents couldn't take care of me. My current parents adopted me when I was just a few months old. But why didn't they tell me the truth? I couldn't understand. That conversation left me devastated. I left the house and walked aimlessly for hours, trying to process everything. Now I had to face a decision: should I search for my biological family? Should I tell my siblings about this? Or should I just leave it alone, ignore what I had discovered, and move on? After days of anguish and confusion, I decided I couldn't leave things like this. I needed answers, and not just from my adoptive parents. So, I started digging. I found my biological mother's name in the papers, and thanks to social media, I was able to track her down. It took me some time to gather the courage to contact her, but I finally did. When I sent the message, I wasn't sure what to expect. Maybe she wouldn't respond, or perhaps she would reject me completely. But her response came the next day, and what she said left me stunned. "I always knew that one day you'd want to know the truth. I'm ready to talk whenever you are." That message changed everything again. What did she know? I felt an urge to learn everything, but also a terrible fear of what I might discover. We met at a cafe a few days later. She was a woman who, despite the passage of time, seemed to carry a great burden on her shoulders. After some nervous introductions, she began to tell me her story. It turns out that my adoption wasn't as simple as I had been told. My biological parents were forced to give me up due to circumstances involving my maternal grandfather, a powerful and manipulative man. My biological mother revealed things that made even my adoptive parents seem like victims of a situation much bigger than I had ever imagined. Now, I have to decide, do I confront my grandfather and uncover this dark chapter of our family, risking the break of all the ties I've ever known? Or do I move forward with what I've learned, keeping both families in the dark, and carrying this weight on my own? I never imagined that a simple box in the attic would lead me to face decisions that would change my life forever.